basketball's tech company, according to the earnings report, automotive revenue clocked in around $21 billion. That's showing a 33% growth year over year. Now, Garrett, we have the numbers from Microsoft. We have the numbers from Tesla. It's out there in the wild. What is in store for the future of tech? As, you know, they are facing a challenging year. Let's just be real here.
Well, these numbers are phenomenal. And what you're seeing this morning, an 8.4% move on Tesla, is driven heavily by short covering. This was a stock that was absolutely beaten into the ground. And when we did Mistletoe Mania, people said, well, what's the stock next year that you want to avoid? And I had said, well, from where we were at the beginning of December up at 195 on Tesla, I felt like it was going to move precipitously lower. But you had a stock get cut in 50% in a month. And now what we're seeing with positive momentum and with some of these improving numbers, I think there's going to be a lot of choppiness in these names. Again, 2022 is going to be very similar to what 2023 was. What's really interesting, however, is that we've kind of gotten back up to these extremes. We've gotten back up to the 200-day moving average. The Qs continue to be wildly volatile, even though volatility isn't elevated. I think it's going to be a tough year for companies that have a price to sales over 10. There are plenty of those tech names, but there actually is starting to be some level of value within the space. And we were just talking about the airlines, Vaz. I think it's important to note to everybody, when you dig into a sector, you can't think of all of them the same. Some stocks are undervalued. SkyWest is a perfect example of that. Other companies like American Airlines are screwed. Like their balance sheet is just an absolute disaster, and they're going to need to avoid a recession to prevent a very serious problem. Same thing goes with tech. You have to understand valuations. And why I stress that element of valuations, if you look at the stocks that are the most heavily shorted, these are like the Kenny names, right? These are the charge points of the world, the companies like Blink Charging, Plug. Those are the stocks that move the most violently. They move violently with momentum. Kenny doesn't care about the underlying numbers, which is fine, but the underlying numbers are what are driving that insanity.
Yeah. I have a cool chart about Tesla coming up in just a little bit, but Shaw, the report seemed pretty good all around. They missed on deliveries, I believe. So do you see potential in Tesla as it's trying to stay ahead of the curve with its competitors?
Well, you look at the chart and it's bouncing, and a lot of stocks are bouncing here because I think there's a lot of FOMO out there on the edge of town. And yesterday was an extraordinary day. I'm going to break down in the 12 o'clock show for everybody what really happened yesterday. And it's very interesting. It's very mechanical. But at the end of the day, what it says is their fear of missing out is outweighing bad earnings. And people are buying, for example, Tesla. The numbers were good. They weren't great. They got cash flow problems. They got other problems. We still got Musk problems. He's in a lawsuit. He's going to have to raise money for Twitter. All kinds of problems there. But it doesn't matter. Right now, people are like, you know what? This stock could go up. Everything could go up. It's cheap. They're going to buy it. And that's what I see in Tesla right now, as I do in a bunch of other stocks.
8baller, we have in chat, who is with 8baller and Tesla with his call on getting in at 109.50? That's wait, what? He's saying who was with 8baller with Tesla at 109.50? 8baller, how'd you call this?
I am Tesla. You didn't know that. This is Elon Musk, by the way. Been here for a while. Welcome to Money Morning Live. And by the way, a little shout out to Live Trading Alliance. They all been. Tesla right now. What about that Tesla trading 157? The Axe, Adam Jonas, price target of 220. By the way, he's over at Morgan Stanley. The numbers are okay. Can't complain. Tesla's implied volatility, the move for earnings is 10%. Looks like we're about there. So right now on the chart itself, Tesla currently trading. Here's the point. 101 was long-term support. RSI got down to levels where value players said this is ridiculous. All those shorts, where are they? Calling for $70, $80 a share. Well, classic trade right now, running into some, again, longer term. This is a 4-hour chart that I use. And who's to say the stock can't get up to 170, 175 right now? VWAP currently in our favor. We like to say you're on the right side of VWAP, you're on the right side of life. Tesla's right now 154.25, acting as interim support.
Yeah. 8-baller, check out this chart. Yesterday on Pump Up the Close, right after you guys, I had a request to look at Tesla, and there's a very cool strategy you can use when using the volume profile and earnings when you have these interesting shaped volume profiles, ones with kind of like a big thin zone in the middle. If you want to place a bet and the stock is trading under this thin zone, you can make a bet ahead of earnings, go long, and you target the thin zone. So our target here was right around the 50 period moving average, which it is currently gapped above. So that was a pretty cool setup as well after your obviously awesome call going up from 109